oh, this is one of those requests off the Discord. And if you'd like to make a request on the Discord, there's a link right down there in the description that will take you straight to our Discord where you can put in a request line for us. Matthew Santoro is a YouTuber, Canadian YouTuber. Seems to be a nice guy. Yeah, he's produced several videos. One in particular that someone out there really, and by really, I mean they kept posting this over and over again until eventually I was just like, all right, fine. If we do this, will you stop doing this? So, yeah.
Don't do that to get your video watched by us in the future. It makes the mods and the Discord mad, and they'll probably just delete your posts after you post it a second time.
Yeah, it's true. So, Matthew Santoro, I've seen some of his videos in the past. He started out as a vlogger that eventually transitioned into doing like top 10 lists and different talking points and stuff like that. He seems to be a pretty level-headed guy. Other than the fact that his smile is almost too big for his large bald head. So, you know what? He's talking about the top 10 most bizarre deaths of all time. Let's get morbid up in this bitch.
You know, I'm sure that you all, just like myself, have all done stupid things in our lives. But at least we didn't die from it. Death, it's a normal part of life that we all have to deal with at one point or another. And there's really nothing unordinary about it. Tens of millions of people die every year of disease, hunger, murder, and just plain old age. But not everyone that's died has done so from natural causes. In fact, there have been some deaths that were so unusual that calling them weird is a little bit of an understatement. So today, I gathered some of the strangest deaths that have ever been documented that will surely make you believe in Darwinism. So without further ado, here they are, the 10 most bizarre deaths of all time. Number 1 is Wii for Wii. In 2007, the Nintendo Wii was one of the hottest products around, and it was in short supply. Both gamers and parents of gamers were willing to do pretty much anything to get one. To capitalize on this, a California radio station called KDND 107.9 held a contest called Hold Your Wii for Wii. Contestants were required to drink about 7.5 liters of water, and whoever held it the longest won. One of the 20 contestants was a 28-year-old mother named Jennifer Strange. After coming in second, she didn't feel so well, so she immediately went home, only to later be found dead of water intoxication. Her family ended up suing the radio station and won $16.5 million for wrongful death. I'd just like to point out that the woman came in second. She didn't even win the Wii. I'm not saying she's dumb, but you know, someone may have plopped a steamer in her gene pool. Number 2 is death by chocolate. Vincent Smith II was a 29-year-old factory worker at Cocoa Services in Camden, New Jersey. He seemed to have the perfect job. He got to work with confectionery all day and made a good living doing it. That was until one day in 2009 when he was dumping cocoa into a giant vat of chocolate and he was suddenly struck in the head by a mixing blade. The blow didn't kill him, but it did make him fall unconscious, causing him to fall over the side of the 2.4 meter deep tank of boiling hot chocolate. He had been in the vat for a full 10 minutes before he was pulled out, and by that time it was too late. He had drowned on a lot of melted chocolate. This is really terrible and a perfect example of why you should always practice workplace safety. Also,
wear a helmet.
Doompa dee dee, that's one tasty death if you wanna ask me. I'm sorry, I'm going now. Number 3 is Through the Looking Glass. Gary Hoy was a 38-year-old lawyer from Toronto, Canada, who was working at the Toronto Dominion Centre. He was a highly respected philanthropic member of Toronto's Asian community and was educated as an engineer before becoming a lawyer, so he was a smart dude. Or so people thought. One day, while working with a bunch of prospective apprentices in the office, he decided that he wanted to prove to them that the glass in the Dominion Centre was unbreakable. Having tried this previously, where he harmlessly bounced off the glass, he again threw himself against it where, like he predicted, the glass did not break. No, instead, the frame gave way, sending him and the entire pane of glass plummeting 24 floors down to the concrete below. This bizarre death was recreated by Mythbusters and actually got Hoy recognized at the 1996 Darwin Awards. Well, this proves once again that you should never trust windows because one way or another, it's gonna crash. Number 4 is All Choked Up. Angela Isadora Duncan was an American dancer born in 1877. Originally from California, she lived in Western Europe most of her life and was an accomplished dancer that performed to acclaim throughout Europe after being exiled from the United States for her pro-Soviet stance. She had a great fondness for flowing scarves that she regularly wore as a part of her wardrobe. Unfortunately, it was that very fondness that contributed to her death. One night in 1927, she was a passenger in a Bugatti while driving around in France when suddenly the car was in an accident. Her silk scarf, which was draped around her neck, became entangled in the open-spoked wheel, hurling her from the car like a human slingshot, breaking her neck. Well, she didn't exactly wake up in a new Bugatti, but you know, she did. Number 5 is a serious handicap. In the summer of 1994, a 16-year-old named Jeremy Breno was playing a round of golf with some friends at the Kingsborough Golf Club in Gloversville, New York. The day was going good until Jeremy and his friends reached the 6th hole, where Jeremy, in a fit of frustration, smashed his golf club off of a bench. Frustration in golf is pretty common, as is smashing the occasional club. However, this time, in a freak accident, the shaft broke, bouncing back and piercing Jeremy's heart, leading to his death shortly after. Yeah, so remember this story next time you're about to go all Happy Gilmore after losing a shot. You might die. Number 6 is Holy Cow. In 2013, a 45-year-old man named João Maria de Souza was asleep in his bed with his wife in Caratinga, Brazil. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, a 1,400-kilogram cow fell through the roof of his house onto his bed, leading to injuries that would kill him just a few hours later. The cow had escaped from a local farm and somehow made it onto the roof of de Souza's home. The roof was unable to support the massive cow, which collapsed, dropping the cow 2.5 meters onto de Souza's leg, completely missing his wife, leaving her unharmed along with the cow. This was, of course, back when Milk's marketing for Got Milk was a far more aggressive campaign. Moo. Number 7 is the roast of the century. St. Lawrence was born in Spain in 225 AD. In 257 AD, Pope Sixtus II ordained St. Lawrence as a deacon and promptly demanded that he hand over all of his wealth to the church. However, St. Lawrence believed that all of his wealth should go directly to those in need and began promptly handing it all out to the poor. This infuriated the Pope, who had a great gridiron prepared with hot coals underneath and placed St. Lawrence above it and grilled him alive. Surprisingly, as he was slowly roasted to death, he reportedly joked with his tormentors, saying, "Turn me over, I'm done on this side." Today, he's the patron saint of cooks and firefighters, which is extremely morbid, and whoever decided that has a really sick sense of humor. Get your head checked. Number 8 is Backfire. Clement Vallandigham was a 50-year-old lawyer from Ohio who practiced law for many years. On one such case, he was defending a client who was charged with murdering a man in a barroom brawl. In an attempt to prove his client's innocence, he demonstrated how the victim might have shot himself. Selecting a pistol that he believed to be unloaded, he put it in his pocket and reenacted the events as they might have happened. However, the pistol was in fact loaded, and upon snagging the gun on his own clothing, unintentionally fired it into his own stomach. His client was cleared of the crime, however, Vallandigham died shortly after from his wounds. Now that's dedication to your work. Number 9 is Revenge of the Snake. In 2014, a Chinese chef named Pen Fan was preparing a snake soup for guests at a restaurant that he was working at. The soup is a delicacy and requires the chopped up meat of an Indo-Chinese spitting cobra. After killing the snake by severing its head, he continued to prepare the soup. However, 20 minutes later, as he was throwing out the carcass, the snake's severed head bit him, injecting him with a neurotoxic venom, killing him shortly after. What he didn't know is that some snakes have the capability to bite and inject venom even after their head has been severed, mostly as a reflex action. Unfortunately, he did not have access to anti-venom in time, causing a quick death. Interestingly, cobras are a delicacy in China and are considered good for your health, assuming that the severed head of one doesn't kill you first. But if you can get past that, yum! Number 10 is a killer meal.
Adolf Frederick was the king of Sweden until his death in February of 1771. He was a weak monarch and little more than a figurehead, but was known for eating lavish meals. On one such occasion, he consumed a meal of lobster, caviar, sauerkraut, smoked herring, and champagne, and topped it all off with 14 servings of his favorite dessert. The excessive meal caused severe digestion digestion problems, killing him shortly after. To this day, he's still known as the king who ate himself to death. Still, he's better off with that fate because having been alive to pass that food baby the next day would have been quite the battle. And that's it for this time, guys. If you enjoyed this, you should definitely check out the video my good friend Rob Dyke just uploaded about mysterious deaths. It's a part of his Seriously Strange series, and believe me, you guys are not going to want to miss it. So if you want to check it out,
I've actually watched that other guy's videos before.
Or the link in the description and tell him I sent you. As always, I would very much appreciate it if you guys gave that like button a click, and don't forget to click that red subscribe button if you'd like to see future videos from me, because I upload every Tuesday and Saturday. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you later on my second channel and on my social media. Peace.
So there you go. That's Matthew Santoro.
Right on.
Got a lot of energy and is actually a fairly funny guy. I mean, I've always
some of his jokes were very dad jokey, but
very, very.
Some of them were pretty funny too. Though.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, but some of those deaths. Oh, the one falling into the vat of chocolate.
Yeah, that would suck.
Well, actually,
what would they do for your funeral? Are they gonna like break you out of the chocolate, or just
display
you as a giant chocolate man?
Closed casket. Yeah, it has to be a closed casket.
Or they actually get like a box with the cellophane on the front and just display you in that box, like bury you in that.
Dude, there's a local candy factory, Helms Candy. A worker fell into the vat and was crushed.
Shit.
Was crushed by the mixers, and they didn't notice it for, I think it was like 20 minutes. So he was pretty much like nothing but like a twisted hunk of human candy amalgamation.
Ooh.
And they actually had to shut the candy factory down for a while an investigation was done. Turns out it was negligence on his behalf because there's a walkway to get around to the other side of the vats, but sometimes it can take a little bit to get over there. So some of the candy factory workers said that sometimes they took what they called a shortcut, and what that was overhead on the overhead, which is about a foot lower than the walkway. There's this pathway that's about this wide. It's about that wide right there, and it's pretty much a covering walk for all of the wires and like the power cables and the machine wires and all that. It's pretty much a place to hide all the wires up there for all of the machines. And if you were ballsy enough, you could walk across that and get over to the other side of the walkway a lot faster, instead of you having to walk all the way down to the other side of the building, go through 2 doors, get clearance, walk all the way around, and boom, you're on the other side. Instead, it was like, okay, on the other side.
So just put on a fucking bridge over it.
Well, the thing was, they couldn't really, because in order for a walkway to be declared safe, it has to be a certain width. They couldn't fit anything over top of it because the spindles were just too big, and there was too much moving machinery for it to really be a logistical possibility. So instead, workers admitted that they did that. A lot of the workers who admitted that got fired, and the candy factory was cleared of any wrongdoing.
Yeah.
But
it's basically dudes doing something they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, it was the dude being
Somebody
stupid.
got turned into candy for it. It's like the fucking fairy tales you hear about, like witches and shit. And
oh, yeah.
Or you done it to yourself.
That motherfucker just got Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, congratulations. You Hanseled yourself.
And then they'll have to Gretel you out.
Yep.
Jesus. So for everything that we saw in this, I mean, I've heard of some bizarre deaths, but it reminds me of that the first one we saw on this was the wee for a wee, where you don't go to the bathroom and all that. There was actually a show on Pretty much who pooped last. And you had to eat a set amount of food and a laxative. And whoever pooped last won. And sometimes you'd win a car. Sometimes you'd win money and all this and all that. One of the worst ones I ever saw was this guy. He was literally just sitting in his space. He actually had been staying up for so long to not poop. He actually fell asleep. And when he fell asleep, he pretty much emptied into his britches.
Oh, disgusting.
And like the back of his britches went from fairly tight fitting to bulging out like crazy. And he was just like, oh, no, oh.
It's fucking nasty.
Oh, it is nasty. It's very, very nasty. So, some people will do some crazy things for stuff. Like, okay. There's actually an old store.
I tried to eat live fish for my money back at a
live fish
attraction.
As in the fish was still alive?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yep.
No.
It was Frightmare Manor, the one we went to. The first year that I went there, I tried the money back thing, and they said you'd have to eat something, drink something, and do something to get your money back.
No.
I didn't make it past stage one, because stage one was they had these little fish swimming around in a cooler of water.
Aw.
And
you had to
eat, I think 2 or 3 of them within, like, I think they said gave you like a minute and a half.
Oh, no,
I couldn't 30 seconds apiece.
I couldn't do it.
So they were like, you can either try to swallow them whole, which I do not recommend, or you can grab them and you bite them right behind the head, like on the near the gills, and snap their necks and then swallow them.
Jesus,
and like I got like basically like I got the first one, killed it, and was trying to swallow it, and I can't swallow stuff that big whole, so I couldn't actually swallow.
Well,
them.
yeah, my throat condition, I wouldn't be able to do it. Period. But yeah. I just go for the Frightmare Manor for the thing. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, we wanted to see what it was the first time we went, though.
Oh.
So that's why I told you I didn't recommend we do that part, you know.
No, I didn't want to do the part.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go for the frights.
Yeah.
And we actually had a good time when we went.
Yeah, it's
we
awesome.
Went to all three attractions. They were actually really good.
Yeah, but that money back thing, like, make sure you're a fucking badass if you decide to do that.
Yeah. Pro Rogan off of a Fear Factor.
Yeah, like
Jesus.
It's a Fear Factory type thing.
Fear Factory?
Fear Factory.
There you go.
Shock.
So, all right, we've had ourselves a long night of recording. It is currently 1:00 in the morning. I have got to get up here in the next little bit. And I hope that you all have enjoyed all of the videos that we've watched. This was Matthew Santoro's top 10, or the 10 most bizarre deaths of all time. If you want to see the original video, link as always is in the description down below. And until next time, signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
We will see you all in the next one. Peace out.